Hey guys, it's Indy. We're going to be doing some r/AmITheAntagonist today, where someone has to question their boyfriend about whether or not they've been doing sexual things to their dog. Am I the antagonist for confronting my husband about a fake silicone penis that he wears? So, there's this sex toy site that we use to buy toys from sometimes, which we use our joint account to pay for. The site has a unique name that it appears as on bills for discretion. My husband was sorting out his own personal bills, and out of plain curiosity and interest, I just looked at one of the slips and noticed that the site was on the bill from a while back. It seemed weird as there was no transaction of this sort on our joint account for that stuff. So I did a bit of snooping around the house, looking for what it could have been, and I found a silicone limp penis. Almost like a dildo, but limp. When I came across a reference site, it turned out to be a toy that guys can wear in their pants to make them seem bigger. So I confronted him about it, and he was really embarrassed. He said he didn't do it for anyone but himself because he wanted to feel more masculine about himself. Since then, things have been a little awkward between us, and he seems to be quite embarrassed and is generally less talkative than he usually is. Am I the antagonist? I do think that you were the antagonist, a-hole, whatever you want to call it. I do think that you were wrong in this situation, because I was reading some of the other comments and I agree. It's just like the same thing as when women wear, those little silicone inserts in their bra, or just like little stuff that just makes us feel a little bit better about our appearance. While, okay, yeah, it might have been weird that he went and bought this thing. It might be weird to you, but to him, it's just, it's a confidence thing. He's just making himself feel better. And number one, like you said, he was going through his own personal bills. You went through his personal bills. If he wanted you to know about it, you would know about it. He would have just used a joint account. Obviously, he did this on his own personal time because he didn't want you to know about it. So you not only invaded his privacy looking at his bills, then you went around the house and searched for it. Then you went online and looked it up to see what it was. So you knew what it was. Okay, you looked up the item, you saw exactly what it was used for, and you still confronted him about it. That was so unnecessary. Like, if a guy finds one of those little silicone inserts that we use in our bra, he's not gonna be like, what is this? He's not gonna come up to us like 21 questions. So you really just kind of egged that situation on, and I don't think he's wrong to be embarrassed or feel any type of way about it. That was so unnecessary. You did not have to confront him about that at all. Am I the antagonist for not wanting to have sex with my girlfriend until she gets on some form of birth control? I always wear a condom, but condoms have broken on me several times, and we've had a couple pregnancy scares. We just got a pregnancy scare a little while ago, and I said I'm done unless she gets some form of birth control. I'll still use condoms when she uses the birth control, but I'm tired of worrying about it so much. Am I the antagonist for saying I'm done with sex until she gets some form of birth control? She says she doesn't want to because of the side effects and the costs, and thinks that the condom is just fine alone. I unfortunately know all about birth control and the side effects. Look, you probably don't understand. You just want her to get on birth control so they'd be safer, and I completely agree with that. I do think that she should get on some form of birth control, but what I think that you should take into consideration is that the side effects are tremendous. My first time trying birth control, it wasn't because of sex or anything like that. I was just trying to get on it so that I would just be prepared for anything in the future. I tried the Nexplanon, which is a implant that goes in your arm about the size of a match, and it stays there for about 3 or 4 years, and then you get it taken out and replaced. I was on that for, I'd say, probably about 3 months. And let me tell you, that was some of the hardest 3 months of my life. I'm not even exaggerating. I felt so shitty. I gained so much weight. I was tired all the time. I just emotionally and mentally was so drained. It just made me feel so disgusting about myself. And I'm not going to get into the TMI because that's a little not really what I'm trying to do right now. But let's just say that it certainly did its job as a birth control, because it made me want to not have sex ever. It made me feel so disgusting that I just couldn't even think about it, So I think that the side effects are a real thing. After that fail of a birth control try, I tried a hormonal IUD. That didn't work for me either. And right now I currently have a copper IUD, which is non-hormonal and lasts about 10 to 12 years. So what I would do is I would sit down with your girlfriend, number one, both of you look at the different birth controls so that you can understand the side effects and she can understand them as well. Personally, for me, the copper IUD has its drawbacks, definitely, for sure, but it's the best one that I've tried. And it doesn't have hormones in it, so the side effects are less severe. It will make her monthly time significantly harder, but all the time outside of that, it'll be like, you know, almost stress-free. A lot of girls stray away from birth control because it's like it's just horrible all the time. It makes you just feel horrible all the time. But anyways, my point is that you're not an asshole for wanting her to get on it, but I think you should be more understanding about her reasoning and concerns as to why she's hesitant to, you know? Am I the antagonist for asking my boyfriend if he did something sexual with our dog after finding some weird stuff in his browsing history? Obviously, this is an odd situation, so I need to provide a little context. My boyfriend and I are both grad students. We have a shared apartment for the past 2 years, and we've adopted a beagle mix about a year ago. My laptop has been unusable for the past few weeks because I spilt water on it, so I've been sharing my boyfriend's temporarily. I often review my browsing history when writing papers because I need to track my sources and usually forget to save links. It became obvious to me that my boyfriend clears his history after he uses his laptop. I didn't really care because I figured he was just watching porn or something and felt a little awkward about it, but the other day, I guess he forgot to clear it, and I went to track down an article I had read, and I noticed several links to some very strange erotica sites. Basically stories and realistic illustrations involving human and animal sex. There were probably thousands of them. It was extremely graphic, and honestly, I was shocked and mortified. I always considered myself pretty open-minded, but it was too much even for me. I also started to wonder if my boyfriend had ever acted out any of the stuff I was seeing. I noticed that my boyfriend is more affectionate with our dog than I'm used to. For example, he always thinks it's funny to make out with him, like having our dog lick his inside of his mouth, basically. Ew. And I don't really like it, but I never thought anything dark of it until now. Anyways, when he finally got home, I asked him about the websites. Surprisingly, he was getting a little defensive, and he admitted he visited those sites and said he didn't really see why I cared so much about it. I don't know what came over me, but for some reason his calmness just angered me. I snapped that I did care, and I was afraid that he'd done something to our dog when I wasn't around. That's when he finally got angry too, and we argued for a while. Long story short, he is now staying in a motel. I don't know, I feel like maybe I crossed the line with my comment about our dog, but I also feel like I had the right to ask if I'm concerned. I don't know, I'm just conflicted, and I feel like maybe I was a little bit judgmental in the scenario. I just want some neutral opinions. Yeah, so here's the thing. Not at all do I think you're an asshole for this. I think it was completely within your right. Like, if I had my partner with my beloved George and he or she was looking up like things like that, I would, be a little bit concerned too. But I don't think that just because he watches that necessarily means that he likes to act out. Because people, if you know anything about the porn industry, it's just like strictly like all fantasy type stuff. Like most porn videos, like the ones that have like storylines and plot, and like the professional ones are things that would usually never really happen. Like, it's all fantasy based, it's all catered towards some type of fantasy. The stuff he was looking at, as you described it, seemed like it was a little bit more fantasy, but also like actual, like, this is real, like not being acted out type stuff. So I think that you have a right to be concerned about it, but I wouldn't necessarily jump and assume that he acts it out. I would watch it a little bit, I doubt he's gonna do anything suspicious now that you've confronted him about it, but I don't know, I would watch him. I would watch that browsing history. It was as well. Look, I don't think he's gonna make that mistake again though. But I also do think it's a little bit concerning how calm he was about it. Like, cause I be searching up some weird stuff sometimes, not even on just weird to me. Like, cause when I was, when I make thumbnails, I was looking for like a specific picture and I had to search up like something really weird for it. And if anybody saw like that out of context, of course they would have questions. And if they asked me those questions, I wouldn't be like calm about it. I'd be like, oh my God, like, no, I can't believe you saw that. Like, I'm so sorry. Let me explain. Hold on. So the fact that he was so calm about it, yeah, that's a little concerning. Yeah, so that was r/Am I the Antagonist? Oh my God, I'm so tired. Oh my God, I'm always tired. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to let me know if you have suggestions for subreddits. I'm always open to those. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing another r/no sleep story sometime soon. So be on the lookout for that. But other than that, only thing left for me to say is bye.